In the world that Jesus knew, and still in the Middle East, hospitality is one of the human being's most solemn duties. In part, this is because hospitality meant survival in the desert. But even in cities and villages, hospitality was and is an absolute requirement in that part of the world. That's why in the gospel we've just heard, the behaviour of Simon the Pharisee is so strange. We learn that Simon didn't call for the servant to wash the feet of Jesus, didn't anoint his head, didn't offer him the kiss of welcome. Sure, he'd invited him to dinner, but his hospitality is less than wholehearted. Jesus is not so much an honoured guest as a man being put to the test. He's on trial. The dining room has become a law court. But in the end, it's Jesus, not Simon, who will be the judge. By contrast, the sinful woman is amazingly hospitable to Jesus, washing his feet with her tears and anointing them with precious ointment. It's she, not Simon, who welcomes Jesus as the honoured guest. In her we see the generosity born of love, which is the heart of true hospitality. In Simon, we see the suspicion born of fear, which is the seed of condemnation. Her love is far greater than her sin. His meanness of spirit is far less than her love. Her sin is forgiven. His sin is revealed. She is set free. He is judged. In Jesus, we see the lavish hospitality of God, which meets the human being's loving welcome. The lavishness of God is known only to those who are themselves lavish. And the heart of God's lavishness is the forgiveness of sin, the sin which makes the human being hopelessly poor and needy. The church is to be the place where the hospitality of God finds a home and is offered to everyone in need. The church is to be the community where the poorest of the poor find the generosity that comes from God. The church is also the community that goes out in search of those who have found no welcome, those who have known no hospitality. If they don't come to us, then we go to them, wherever and whoever they are. This weekend, all the communities of the Archdiocese are being asked to become part of a project we're calling the Annual Catholic Campaign. Now, you know as well as I do that in the past, we've had what seems to be an endless series of appeals and collections through the year. What the Annual Catholic Campaign seeks to do is to gather most of these into a single large appeal. This is one of the things we're trying to do in the Archdiocese in an attempt to think and act laterally in the area of fundraising. In many areas of church life, strategies that worked well in the past are not what's needed now, and fundraising is one of these areas. The Annual Catholic Campaign is an attempt to raise new money for new mission in a way better suited to now. The money raised by the campaign won't just disappear into some black hole never to be seen again. Rightly, people like to know where their money's going. The money raised by the campaign will go to strengthen parish life, to educate and inspire the young, to prepare church leaders for the future, to care for retired priests, and to support families, especially those in trouble. In short, we need money for ministries within the church, but also for mission to the wider world. Without the money, there can be no welcome. The woman who anointed the feet of Jesus paid plenty for the ointment, but that was the price of the welcome she offered the Lord. The service we offer within the church and beyond to the world is no less a welcome to Jesus himself, an anointing of his feet. With all our resources, spiritual, emotional, physical, financial, we reach out to the hungry, to strangers, to the naked and the imprisoned. And in finding our way to them, we find our way to Jesus himself, as we learn in Matthew's great scene of the Last Judgment. Like the woman in the Gospel, the church today is under pressure. The world often looks at us in the same way that Simon the Pharisee looked at the sinful woman, with suspicion, even disdain. At such a time, we can be tempted to step back, to stay in a private and seemingly self-protective world, just as the woman must have been tempted never to enter the house of Simon. But she takes the risk because she's determined to find her way to Jesus. We too take the risk of going into what may seem alien space or dangerous territory because we believe that it's there that we'll meet Jesus in the hungry, the strangers, the naked and the imprisoned. The woman took the risk and found the welcome. If we take the risk, we too will find the welcome. And part of taking the risk is responding generously to the annual Catholic campaign. The theme of this year's campaign is "You make a difference to me." They are words that could certainly have been spoken to Jesus by the woman of the Gospel story. But they are also words which Jesus could have spoken to her. There's this mutuality in the Christian life. Jesus makes all the difference to us. We need him in an absolute sense, just as the woman did. She risked rejection and found the welcome that saves. We make a difference to Jesus, not because he needs us, but because he freely chooses us to be his body, his physical presence in the world, offering to all, but especially to the poorest of the poor, the hospitality of God. That's the way he wants to work. Today I urge you to be bold and generous in giving from your abundance to the annual Catholic campaign, so that a host of people will say to you and to the whole church, "You make a difference to me." Hearing those words from those we have served, we will be hearing the voice of Jesus himself, who is never outdone in generosity.